Let's talk about goth culture. One of my favorite subcultures. Goths are some of the nicest, coolest folks. And this is their time of year, so let's go back to where it all started. And the story of Bauhaus and Bela Lugosi's Dead. This song gives me chills, and that's exactly what it's supposed to do. It all started in 1978, just when the original punk movement in the UK was expiring, and the leftover artists and musicians' vibe would shift to post-punk and new wave. You had artists like Susie and the Banshees, Joy Division, taking a sort of sideways approach to the same DIY kind of music. Then there were Bauhaus, named after the Bauhaus art movement, a German school and philosophy that was destroyed by the incoming regime in 1933. Bauhaus, the band, was formed when Daniel Ash, a guitarist from Northampton, wanted to start a band that was more experimental and art-driven than the other punk acts that were out at the time. And he reached out to his old friend Peter Murphy, who wasn't in any bands yet, but he had the striking appearance and charisma that made Daniel think that he would be an ideal frontman. Next, bassist David Haskins, otherwise known as David J., and his brother Kevin, who was a drummer, joined the band. And they all bonded over their mutual love of David Bowie, as well as other punk, glam, and shock rock artists. In January 1979, only a few weeks after forming, Bauhaus booked a 6-hour session at a studio with the purpose of making a demo to send to labels. In that session, they recorded 5 tracks, and Bela Lugosi's Dead was the first. Bela Lugosi was a Hungarian-American actor who is best known for his 1930s portrayal of Dracula, and David J. decided to write lyrics about him as a way to try and capture the haunting, decaying glamour of old horror films. The song was largely improvised, and you've got to give Kevin Haskins credit where credit's due, because the drums make that song. They're so cinematic, so haunting, they stick with you. Each member really did contribute to the composition, though. David J's lyrics and his bass line set the tone. It's dark and penetrating, and then Daniel's guitar kind of grazing the top of the track. And Peter's voice delivering the lyrics in this monotone, David Bowie-esque 1930s transatlantic kind of way. They recorded this song in one take, and that's the version that you know today. Total lightning in a bottle. It didn't take long for those demos to get the band a record deal, and Bela Lugosi's Dead would be released as a single in August 1979. The reaction was really interesting. The music had the same kind of mood as heavy metal, which was also inspired by horror film music, but without the anger. It could be described as sounding sad or depressing, but really what it did was tap into that dark tension that exists in the underground of our society. It was the soundtrack to early goth culture. It kind of changed it from being a look into a community. And Bauhaus was something uniting, something that helped define the very definition of the subculture as they went into the 80s.